Hello farmers and welcome back to the hills of Tuscany. Getting ready to take care of our moo cows. They are getting low on food. They are out of straw. They pretty much need everything that we can think of. So let's start off with the TMR because, well, food does the body good. Or is it milk? But cows don't drink milk. So anyways, we'll dump the TMR into their feed trough. That'll get them going for at least another month. But I do need to come over here and we'll open up the door. Both doors should open. And we got the telehandler over here. Going to spawn some straw bales. Probably 6 of them should do it. At least for now. Let's go ahead and spawn. Like I said, 6 should do it. Should be fine. They could probably take some more. And then I got to go over and grab the wool from the sheep. I got the wool from the sheep out of their spawn point. That's been flashing at me for the past 20 minutes or so. So I went over there and took care of that. I got a worker down planting potatoes. Francesca's planting potatoes. There might be another Francesca plowing up the large vines over in the vineyard. Starting up that process. I got the sugar beet planted in between episodes, so that's all set to go. I need to plant the cotton in the new cotton field here pretty darn soon. You're not going to fall down. There we go. Let's make sure it takes all of it. Alright, let me go get some more bales here. Ooh, yeah, maybe more than 6. We'll see how much 6 does, and then I may add some more. Don't know how many cows we're up to. But the good thing is the number should be increasing. We haven't lost any cattle. Been a while since I've lost any animals on any of my farms, actually. And I don't stay on a farm long enough for them to die of old age. With the enhanced animal mod, you gotta be on a farm, I think, at least 15 years for that to happen. And we don't usually stay on a farm that long. I think 10 years is the max that we should be staying on a farm. Alright, so I'm not seeing no straw piling up in the barn yet. What does their numbers look like? Oh. Let's see, cows, straw. Okay, I should bring some more in. Okay, the TMR is looking pretty good. Water, they should be fine on for a little bit. Productivity is at 100%. Alright, so let's go get some more straw bales, I suppose. We're here. Got the telehandler already up here. Spin around, and once we get the cotton field drilled, I think we are done for the month, and we can get on to the month of April where all the veggies will need to be planted. I think 6 more straw bales should do it, right? I could probably take 6 bales, but if they start toppling over everywhere, then that's not what we want to be doing. We got our slurry spreader here. I did bring back the manure spreader that we purchased. That is now up here at the farm. We'll be using that probably next month. I could probably use it on the sugar beet field. That's going to be my best choice. The sugar beet field or the narrow vegetable field right next to it would be good ones because they're not that far from the farm. And I don't want to be traveling too far back and forth. I don't know how far we're going to get with the spreader. We just need a single application, not a double, so it's not going to go through it too quick. And we want to be using that because, well, we spent the money on it. And by using that, we'll save money on fertilizer. Alright, moo cows, you're going to take these 3 bales in full? Or are you going to leave like a bale? If you do, I'm still just going to leave it here and you guys can take it whenever you need it. Well, they took 1, 2. Well, they took all 3. But they look good and full on the straw. Let's go ahead and close up that door. Let me turn off the T8 for a little bit. No sense of using the diesel in that. And let's go grab the wool pallets. So the one thing I did learn, and I'll probably forget, I thought the spawn in the sheep's pen was good for 8 pallets of wool, but apparently it's only 6. Because that is what we have there. They're all full pallets. Not really a rush to get them down to the spinnery because we don't have any cotton. I mean, I could make clothing out of this, but we're just going to wait until we get more cotton this upcoming year. At least that's the plan, right? We got another field. Well, not quite yet. I haven't planted it yet. But we bought the field, and we're getting ready to plant the cotton in there. But we can see the increase of the clothing. I think before we had the expanded field last season, we were getting like $350,000 worth of clothing. And then we added a field last year, and now we're going to be up to like $750,000. And now we're adding another cotton field, so hopefully next season, maybe get up to $1 million worth of clothing. Oh no, okay, I'm just going to have to come back and get that later on. Why would the pallet fall off there now? Don't know, the other ones seem to be kind of holding stable. And just as you say that, they fall off. Well, usually I do pretty good driving these down here, but now I lost half of the load. Well, I'm just going to drive across this field at this point. Probably drop the one on top it as well. Might as well go for the trifecta. Alright, let me go grab the other 3. Not the best way to bring them on in. Oh, yep, they fell down before I actually got them here. And the trigger is not on the ground. We got to raise them up just a little bit. There we go. All right, telehandler can be put away for a few more months. Perfect. Let's see how the workers are getting along here in the potato field for one. Okay, you got about 58% left. I had to refill it once so far. You might get the field done. And how are we getting along over here and plowing the vineyard? Looks like you're halfway done with that one. And I'll have to take care of the other 3 myself. Not that big of a deal. But let's go ahead and get over here to our new field. And we got our Challenger and the Conda version already over here ready to go. Planter's all set. Just came from the farm, topping it off with liquid fertilizer and seed. And the good news is it's taken the second stage of fertilization right on it. It's been fertilized once, I don't know when. So adding this much more cotton to our harvest. And fingers crossed next year, like I said, maybe we'll have $1 million worth of clothing every year. Well, that will definitely help us out trying to get this loan paid off in 10 years. Or at the 10-year mark, not another 10 years, but at the end of 10 years, before we get to year 11, have the loan completely paid off. And if you're wondering, we're just under $9 million currently. But we're going to be taking care of that within the next month or two. We're either going to be selling clothing next month or in May. And we got that $750,000 right there. We got the candy, of course, that usually brings in like maybe $300,000 this year. Maybe more than that. Who knows? We should be actually getting more sugar from the sugar factory because we're doing cut sugar beet instead of just standard sugar beet. And I probably should have a look at that to see how we are doing in there for sugar, or sugar beet, that is. Let's see. Go scroll down a little bit more. All right. I mean, it's not a rush, but we got through half of what we put in there last fall. And I think I got about 100,000 liters or so in the silo. Something around there. I still think I'll get through all of it before harvest season in September. If not that big of a deal. Eventually we can just put the, just regular sugar beet in. And we'll be producing double the amount of sugar for a little while. Ah, the hills of Tuscany. Slowing down our operations for the past 5 years. Luckily, the Challenger's got enough horsepower underneath the hood to get up the hills. And we get to keep our eye on Francesca over there while we're planting as well. Make sure she's doing what she's supposed to be doing. Which I trust her. If it was Frank, I'd have questions. We've seen Frank just get off the job and walk away sometimes. Now, the one thing I did take care of in between episodes, also, when I came over to this field, I had stones in it. But I took care of all the stones, so the stones are gone. The one field I can't get rid of them is where we combine the fields, the other cotton field, where the road was going through. I think it's because those stones are not technically field stones. They may be decorative stones for the road. The stones I can't get to disappear, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. With stones turned off, I don't think it's going to damage our equipment. Hardly at all, if at all. It's been a while since I've done that testing on Elm Creek when FS22 came out of how much damage the stones do. It's not that significant to worry about. Are we still getting the random sheep out in the fields? Looks that way. That was a while ago, and I haven't seen it since. That was like maybe around episode 20 or something like that. But I think we got a black sheep out in that field. Don't ask questions. I had the same problem on American Falls where we had a couple cows spawning outside of the cow shed. All that matters is that whatever they produce spawns where it should. Who knows? Maybe I got wool pallets around the farm somewhere I don't know about yet. So as I mentioned, once we get this field done and Francesca finishes planting the potatoes, the only 3 fields we got left are the 3 veggie fields, and we'll just do 1 type of veggie in each field. So we got carrots, parsnips, and red beet. And of course, we'll just bring it mostly to the soup production. And if we get an abundance of 1 crop, then we'll spill it over into the preserved food production. Once again, this planter, we have it set up to roll the field as we plant. So basically, the only thing we're not doing to our fields is mulching. We do have weeds turned off, though. So we got weeds and rocks are turned off. So we should get like a 98% yield most of the time on all of our fields. Is that correct? Is it going to be 98%? 98% out of 100. Yep. I think the other 2% would come from the mulching. Now this planter could do mulching as well. But as we saw the first time I used it, it kept deleting the seed. So if I, like when I go over this section here, it would delete the seed I put down. But then again, it would still replant it because it's planting cotton as we go along. But I'll just go through a lot more seed that way. Well, I mean, it's seed. It's not that expensive. But yeah, we were still using it. And then when I got done, it would leave a little bit of a spare spot where I turned off the planter and raised it up. So I'll take 98% out of 100. So this field will not need another stage of fertilization. The sugar beet field and all the veggie fields will need to be fertilized again. Oh, and the other cotton field, that will need to be fertilized as well. Don't know how long the cows were without straw. I don't think it was too long. The only thing that does is they stop producing the solid manure. But now we're going to be using that for fertilizing. Want to make sure we keep them up on the straw. And currently I think we got enough straw for the cows at the rate we're going through it, with that one wheat field that we keep planting. I really don't want to be buying another field, but every time I say we're not going to be buying any more fields, either that episode or with the next two, seems like I'm buying another one. Can I get this in one pass? Nope, there's a tiny little patch there. That may produce about 2 liters of cotton. So let's go ahead and get that planted in. Perfect. All right, we'll raise that up. Fold this up, and now we can go back to the farm. We'll top this off with seed and fertilizer. Whatever crop, the veggie crop comes up first, that's the one we'll plant first. So red beet it is. Let's see, how do I want to... You know what? I think we'll just go out this way. I came up here via the potato field. But we'll just scoot down and around the corner here. You can see our farm just over the hill here. I could go through the gate that I normally don't, but I'll continue to use the gate that we always do. One, this gate is already open. Two, the other gate isn't. So, but I do have to make a wide corner. Luckily, this field isn't planted yet. Oh, I think that's the first time I ran into that light post. Won't be the last time, though, I'm sure. I'll do it again. Hopefully, though, not for a while. Alright, open up the covers and we'll get this ready to go. But I think we will get to fertilizing the fields first before we do any more planting. And just squeeze by. It's like I've done that before. Have to come back and top off with fertilizer and seed every time I plant a field. I didn't mention it in last episode of Hills of Tuscany, and also mention it in the last episode of Western Australia. But it started last episode of Hills of Tuscany, where Farming Simulator for me, I'm getting like frame rate drops every once in a while. It's not quite like it was on Hinterland, where when I got around the shed with all the pallets in it, where the frame rate just dropped, I knew what that was. This is just like I'll be going around at, you know, anywhere from 55 to 60 frames, and then all of a sudden, for no reason I can think of it, the frame rate just drops down to 20 for a brief second, and it's kind of like a lag spike, if you will. Not sure what's going on there. It's only in Farming Simulator. All the other games I play, that's not happening. But anyways, I haven't noticed it when I edit the video that is showing up. Maybe you guys are seeing it. I'm not checking the right spots. But if you're seeing it, that's what's kind of going on. So I got to figure out what's going on in the game itself. It's got to be something, I don't know. Maybe I cleared out my shader cache thinking that would do it, but it's still doing it. So I was waiting for this job to get done, but we don't have to wait that long. And hooray, the potatoes are done. So we can bring this back and park it up. At least now I know, for now, when I refill this planter, I need to fill it up with potatoes, because potatoes are a lot cheaper than seed. I'm not going to worry about the little corners there. I want to... Why did you stop? I want to get on to the next month. And I think my other worker in the vines has finished as well. Not going to sell anything this month. We'll wait until the clothing comes along. And then we'll sell the clothing, and also I'm pretty sure we'll have some soup and canned veggies to go. So around the corners. Sometimes you do that enough, bringing all your equipment in at the end of a month, you can start to get dizzy. Alright, we'll drop that off, and actually we're going to hook this right up to the manure spreader. There we go. And let me go ahead and take care of this worker over here. And they already dismissed themselves, so that's good. The one thing I got to check on... Inspection required, but it's not that damaged, so I'm not too worried about it. I think I'll wait until we get all the plowing done this year in the vines, and then we'll inspect and repair it for the summer. And that way it'll be good to go after harvest season, which is a long ways off because, well, the vines haven't really started growing yet. Let me just double check on all the animals. So they got TMR. They're good for another month easily. And straw, we know they're good on. Milk, they're good on. Water, they're all looking good. The sheep are starting to get down there on water. And hay, they're doing fine as well. Production buildings, anything in the red. Well, we're always waiting on sugar over here, so that's not a surprise. That's why I'm not too worried about the strawberry candy, because we were making all 4 candies over here, but the sugar is just not coming in fast enough to keep up with the regular candy, candy cane, and honey candy. I probably could get, earn more by doing strawberry candy, but it's all the same at this point to me. And everything else is in the red. Oh, sorry, in the blue, so it's looking good. So, let's go ahead and we are going to call it a month. If I can find where my home is, which is right here. Spin around. And, yeah, we should wake up with money still in the bank account. I don't think it's going to withdraw all 24,000, although the loan interest will be like at 29,000 and change, but we got a wind turbine making us money throughout the month. Oh, we're going to wake up to rain? Okay, not raining. Oh, we're waking up with still 21,627 in the bank account. That's pretty darn good. Not going to complain on that. Let's see what the clothing is doing, because it is April. So clothing is selling for 10,344. Ooh, I think we're just going to sell it right off because the best price is 10,319, and it shows a price going down. Farmers Market, we know where that is, and anything else in the really, really good green. Well, we got some other stuff we could sell, but that's going to the restaurant. Yeah, not a whole lot actually for soup and all that kind of stuff. So we'll hang on to that. But just the clothing only today. Yes. So the truck. The truck has got to be right here. So we'll spin around. Actually, you know what? Just back right up, I guess. And all this money is going right towards our loan. And we'll see a huge drop in our loan interest rate, or loan interest, when we sleep through the next night, but that's going to be a moment or two. Just gotta wait for the rest of the clothing to start spawning. Summer clothing event coming soon. Am I gonna fit all these on here? No, I want to sell them all in one go. How many more clothes? Oh wow, I got like 8 more pallets on here. Well, we're gonna throw them on, so give me a moment. All right, so we got them all on there. Let me strap them in before. Oop, I'm in the clothing. Let me strap all those on there. Actually, you know what? Probably should take a picture of this, because it's going to be a nice sale coming up here soon. Our fields are looking good. Sugar beet has germinated, as the cotton has as well. And of course, the potatoes also have germinated. Kind of missed that with the seasons mod back in 19. If you planted the crop at the wrong time of year, or if you had a cold spurt or whatever, sometimes you get patches of the crop that wouldn't grow, or if at all. Got to be careful going around the corners with 68 pallets of clothing. We do have, I think it was like 990 liters of clothing that's still in the spinnery. So that can't spawn. Gotta be 1,000 liters. So the total that we saw on the stock market page, not going to quite get there because we got a full pallet just sitting in the spinnery. But it still should be somewhere around $700,000 that we're going to get from all this. And it's going to sell quick. 703,552. All right, this is going to feel good, but the problem is it is going to take a moment for me to pay off that much of the loan. So, yeah, we were just under 9 million. So we'll just keep on spamming the button. Trying to figure out how much money I want to leave in the bank account. Maybe like 20 or 30. That's about it. Don't really need it, and I don't really need to be buying anything. We are done buying things. Yeah, we'll leave 20,000. So that brings the loan down to 8,290,000. Yeah, we're just under 30,000 on loan interest, but paying off 700 grand, that's definitely going to bring it down quite a bit. And pretty soon, our wind turbine is going to offset the loan interest. If I can find out which one is property income, that's got to be the wind turbine, which you can just see the numbers are just everywhere. 9,500, 18,3, 24, 19,5. It's got to be done by how much wind we're getting per day, I assume. Kind of like the solar panels. You're going to earn more off the solar panels on a clear day rather than a cloudy day or a rainy day. Anywho, let's bring this back to production lane. We're going to throw down, I think it was red beet that came out first in the planter. And then after we get that field planted, which would take us about maybe a minute and a half, we'll grab the Lamborghini, grab some manure, and put down a second stage of fertilization, I hope. So I think about 3 passes and this should be done. I think we got a little bit of canola in this field when I planted last fall, but this should delete it and put the red beet in right over it. Now, I'm not sure with the manure spreader if I can come right on this field and put the second application of fertilizer on it. I'm not sure the way this planter is set up is, are the rollers the last thing that it does on the field? If it is, then that would be like changing the state after it planted and fertilized, if that makes sense. So I'll give it a go, see if I can put the manure right into the field right after. If we can, great. If not, then I'll have to wait for it to germinate, and then I can come in here next month and do it. Or I could just spread all the manure and slurry on the sugar beet field, which would take a while, but as I mentioned before, it's free fertilizer, so it'll save us money in the long run. So we just got this field to plant. We got the field just down the road that was a cotton field last year. That needs to be taken care of, and then the one over by the vineyard. And then all the fields will have been planted. Then we just got to wait for harvest season, which is not that far from now. But it feels good to be selling that much in clothing and paying off a whole bunch on the loan. And sometime around late June, early July, we'll sell like $300,000 worth of candy and take some more off the loan, getting it down below that 8 million, which is the end season goal. And then maybe I should start thinking about what goals I want to do money-wise for the following season. Let's see if we get down, maybe try to get down below 6 at the end of next year. I think that might be a stretch. But goals are sometimes made to be difficult, but also attainable. Yep, one more pass, and this will be done. So the canola field, yep, that was double fertilized. Potato field's double fertilized. The wheat field up over the hills double fertilized. We just got to do a whole bunch of fertilizing at this point. The grass field, I don't think it'll be ready for mowing until next month, but I will check on that just to be sure. Just want to make sure we keep up on that. Although I don't think it would hurt us at all if I missed one cut this season. I think we got enough grass, hay, silage stockpiled. And perfect. This is planted. While it's folding up, we'll switch it to the next crop, and that'll be what I plant in the next field, which will be this field. Where are we here? This field right on down here. So that'll be carrots. And then we'll have parsnips over at the vineyard, which I think I had parsnips over there last year, but that's the way it's going to be. Let me just go ahead and park this right here. Be good. Got plenty of space to get by. All right, let's get up here to the Lamborghini. Nope, wrong one. There we go. So let's go pull up beside the manure heap. And the trigger should be right here. Now I should just have to hit R, and it will refill. Yeah, this will hold a lot of manure, so not too worried about this ever filling up. Before we had to, the manure pit on the other side only holds like about 45,000 liters, and now it's filling up rapidly. Yeah, the grass field is looking like next month is the time to cut it. It will say ready for harvest, I do believe, but of course it's only in the first harvest stage. So in May, we'll get the grass cut. And I'll look to see how we're doing on hay and silage. Alright, so this should be on single application. And it's just a matter of, can I refertilize the red beet field that we just planted? Is it going to accept it? I think the manure will spread. It's just a matter of the game counting it as a second application. Really what you should be doing is putting the manure down throughout the winter. Oh, gotta unfold it first. Been a while since I used a manure spreader. Let me just turn that off. I don't think it's accepting it. Or it is. Oh, I've already fertilized this field. Oops. See, the problem is I was looking at it before I planted it. I'm like, it's only got one stage in. Yeah, you put the second stage in when you were planting, dummy. So, that'd be the second stage. Alright, so sugar beet field. Alright, this will accept it. I know that much. There we go. Now we can see the manure going on down. Try to get the working width correct, so I'm not wasting too much here on the overlapping. I think that will be good. So not a bad working width, and really it's not going through the manure that much. So it's not going to be that many trips back and forth up to the cow barn. Maybe about 4 or 5 trips, possibly. Although we did pay a lot for this trailer. By thinking about 4 years' time, by the time I spread all the manure that I can, the trailer will have repaid for itself by then, by saving us all that money on artificial fertilizer. Same can be said for the slurry sprayer, or sorry, spreader. Might be getting a little bit of cow manure on these people's homes, but oh well. Alright, so it might be more than 4 or 5 times that I will have to go up and refill. And if I run out of manure, well, we got slurry. I still got like 40% manure in here, so it's getting along further than I thought it would. Trying to think, trying to think last time I spread manure. Was it No Man's Land? Was it that far back? I don't think I may have done some on Goldcrest Valley. But I don't remember. It's funny how long ago Goldcrest Valley was for me at this point. I think we went from Goldcrest Valley to American Falls. And now we've gone from American Falls to Western Australia. Alright, so about halfway around for a headland. Maybe even a little bit more than that. So I don't think I'm going to have enough manure to get the whole field done. But we have what we have. But either way, it's already been a good month. Just by selling the clothing and paying that much off on the loan. That loan interest rate, is that going to drop down to like 25,000? I think it will. Alright, let's do our little slalom through the farmyard here. And while this is filling up, I want to run around the back. And I want to check to see how many cows that we currently have. Yep, that will fill up. Can I not? Okay, can't get through there. I think I can get through here, though. We got 23 cows, and I think this holds 80? Yes, 80 cows. So, we're slowly getting there. Slowly getting there. I won't sell the bulls until we get a full pen. Actually, what do the male full-grown cows go for? We got all Holsteins. So a male bull Holstein goes for $975. That one is worth $11.19. You know what? I'll keep them there because they are producing slurry and manure. I'm not going to worry about just getting $1,000. I'd probably get more out of the bull by producing more slurry and manure on the farm and getting fertilizer from them. At least I think so. So it's not really... I mean, $1,000 is $1,000 in real life. That's nice. But when you owe $8.25 million, $1,000 is it's like finding a quarter somewhere. All the sheep are looking good. Oh, it's been a month. I should check on their... I keep checking on their water. The sheep just don't go through the water as much as I was expecting them to. So I just want to see if that mod's going to work on the sheep pen. We know it doesn't work on the cow barn. Weird thing is I'm using that mod on Western Australia and it seems to be working just fine. But let's see how the sheep are doing on water. Well, they still got 3,600 liters left in there, so... Probably won't know until middle of summer. But I'm expecting to have to give them some water. Which is not that big of a deal. Ah, the sound of muck coming out of the back of a manure spreader. And yes, I'm being a little sloppy in the spreading part of it. Putting some on the outside of the field. But 24 meters, that is a good working width. And it would have been nice to have the bigger manure spreader that held more, because of course it would reduce the amount of trips up to the farm. But for that much more money, I'll drive up there and get the manure. Thanks. It'll be easier that way. Well, not easier, but in the long run, it's not too far. But I would not want to be spreading manure on the field over by the vineyard. That will be artificially fertilized. And probably some fields over here will be fertilized with the artificial spreader as well. I'm not going to have enough to get the cotton field done and all the other veggie fields as well. But second stage of fertilization going on the sugar beet field. And what we'll try to do is, after the harvest season this upcoming year, is putting down the slurry or manure before we plow the fields. That way it really gets into the soil. Not that it matters for Farming Simulator 22, but that's what you would do on a farm, is put the manure down in the fall and let the ground absorb it throughout the winter. We'll try to do that here as well. So I'll probably run out of manure in between episodes. I'll try to get some of this done. But we got plenty more work here to do in April. We got 2 more fields to plant. I may do the carrot field next in between episodes, and I'll just leave the field over by the vineyard. So we'll probably plant over there and then maybe hop into the Antonio Cario, and we'll get some plowing done over at the vines. And maybe we'll do a little bit more slurry / manure spreading on the fields that we have left to do. And I am out of manure once again. But if you made it this far in the video and you like what you saw, maybe think about giving the video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already and you're thinking about doing so, please do subscribe. But that is where we're going to wrap it up for today. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the episode. I do appreciate you watching as always. And I'll catch you again right here in the hills of Tuscany. But until then, have a good one.